we're justified in our peaceful protests. We're not violent. We're not hateful. We're not evil. And you know what? When it comes to a point with the police, we have a discussion and we make a civil decision. It's the exact opposite of everything that the left does. Okay, here's a peaceful protest by Trump supporters. Here's what they claim is a peaceful protest by Democrats, which is actually riot mobs.
We have to stand up for our rights, for our natural rights, for constitutional rights. And the longer we stay silent, the more we're going to get run over. And so, I mean, we have to open up this economy. More people are going to end up dying from starvation, from depression, from losing their life savings, from getting kicked out of their homes because they can't operate their businesses. Think about all those business owners that got giant loans, you know, at the end of last year, hoping to have big plans, and now they're just completely underwater. I mean, this is going to ruin more people than the actual virus.
All right, well, if I'm the Dark Knight, I'm now joined by Aaron Hermes. Been on before, ran for Congress, currently dancing with a Batman mask on. You're quite a character, Aaron, you know? By the way, sir. Aaron was out there. He had the same mask on. He was out there at Barton Creek with us last Saturday. I'm so flustered. It was last Saturday, right?
Yeah, it was like,
what,
4 or 5 days ago now.
I'm just like, I mean, everything is Twilight Zone at this point. Anyway.
It's marked in the annals of time now.
You came up to me. And we knew each other previously, but you came up to me at, yeah, there's the picture right there. You came up to me at Barton Creek, and you told me, you said, Owen. And before you even told me what was up, you just said, Owen, we got to hop that fence. And I was like, you are absolutely right. But then you brought up the actual law. So talk about, you know, your reasoning and the law you found that led to us justifiably hopping the fence.
Yeah, I just love it how everything coalesced. I was on my own researching this issue. I love Barton Springs. I was born in Austin, been going there literally since I was like in my mother's womb. And being locked out of that place during summer just did not feel right. And so I've been researching it, heard Alex talk about it. And I figured, hey, what perfect time for me to come up there, because I've been planning to breach the illegal fence anyway but I had to get confirmation first. So I read the law. I noticed that it said you needed the Texas Land Office permission to build a fence over a navigatable stream. And so I contacted Texas Land Office, and I had them research if they had ever got permission at Barton Springs. And guess what? They didn't get permission on either one of the fences, upstream or downstream. And so I printed out the law with me. I brought my bullhorn. It says BSLM. That actually stands for Barton Springs Liberty Movement, because if BLM can protest, I figured BSLM can protest too. And so I came prepared with the law, and I was ready to be there all day, really. I'm glad other people were there, because if I was by myself, much higher chance of getting arrested. But
well, I got the troops energized, and we hopped that fence. And you know what? I think it was okay for us to hop back over. We didn't need to raise too much of a ruckus there with the cops. I think we made our point. Maybe in the future we'll maybe try to stay or something. I do think I'll talk to Alex about this. I do think we should have one more before the end of summer, before the end of September, just one more blowout at Barton Creek, because it really is so fun.
There's Alex climbing over the bat ladder right now that luckily I brought as well.
Yeah, we may have to bring that back out. But really, it was fun, and it's just nice to hang out with like-minded people, see the energy, see people hanging out, seeing people wanting to be free.
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
that's just a beautiful thing, man.
So talk about though, because here's the key. I mean, whether or not we want the wall there or not, the point is we're justified in our peaceful protests. We're not violent. We're not hateful. We're not evil. And you know what? When it comes to a point with the police, we have a discussion and we make a civil decision. It's the exact opposite of everything that the left does. So just talk about in general for other people, whether it's a local park near you, Barton Creek, whatever it is that they're saying has to be shut down, the civil disobedience of a real peaceful protest, so that people can look at a parallel thing. Okay, here's a peaceful protest by Trump supporters. Here's what they claim is a peaceful protest by Democrats, which is actually riot mobs.
Right. Yeah, no, we can't just sit by and allow them to think that, they can just dictate to us what's going to be closed, what's going to be open, and we're just slaves. I mean, we have to stand up for our rights, for our natural rights, for our constitutional rights. And the longer we stay silent, the more we're going to get run over. And so, I mean, we have to open up this economy. More people are going to end up dying from starvation, from depression, from losing their life savings, from getting kicked out of their homes because they can't operate their businesses. Think about all those business owners that got giant loans, at the end of last year, hoping to have big plans, and now they're just completely underwater. I mean, this is going to ruin more people than the actual virus. And so we just have to, have common sense needs to prevail here. I mean, kicking us out of our springs, that's one of the healthiest things we can be doing.
Yeah, because I mean, they talk about nature bathing, but if you're really afraid of a COVID, it dies in the sun after 30 seconds. Fauci even said that. They talk about nature bathing all the time. Swimming in the creek is actually helpful with the low temperatures. It can bring down inflammation and other such things. And they just say, oh, no, because of COVID, you can't swim in a creek. Since when can't I go down to the woods and swim in a creek?
Right. And how is it someone else's, like the mayor, somebody else's right to tell us what body of water we can get in or not? And what are they even freaked out about? They're worried about turning into a petri dish. It's petri dish. It's constantly flowing water. I mean, where's the contamination?
Well, and obviously it won't. I mean, there's pools open at gyms. What are they going to say? You can't go to a lake. You can't go swim in a lake, which people
they want it to be chlorinated.
Which people take a crap in, by the way.
Right.
I mean, people swim in lakes all the time. They crap in them, and everybody's fine. It's the same thing. Fish crap.
Yeah, I found out that's an illegal fence, but there's pros and cons of removing it. Obviously, if we remove it, we can have homeless people, all kinds of people just setting up camp. It's not healthy for the springs. I recognize that. But the answer isn't us shutting up and having all of our rights being taken away. That's not the answer.
Well, and I don't think anybody's making the argument we should take the fence down. I mean, maybe you want to make that argument. My point is that, hey, look, we're out here peacefully protesting. This is real civil disobedience. And by the way, if we wanted to cite the law, we're actually not breaking it. This wall is breaking the law.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's go back with more bullhorns. Let's call the press. Let's call the game warden. That's the ace in the hole right there. We get the game warden over there. He's the one that actually has the jurisdiction when it comes to the waterways. So that's the thing. We just have to start using the laws for us. I mean, they're there to protect us. And right now, our rights are being subverted hardcore.
The Barton Springs Liberty Movement. Are you going to be back out there at Barton Springs?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, I kind of issued an ultimatum to the Barton Springs staff when I was there bullhorning. I didn't think of it beforehand, but I was like, listen, you need to either open the pool now without IDing people who go there. That's ridiculous. So I'm not going to be contact traced to go to my pool. And or you need to remove the illegal fence. It's really simple. And if not, we'll just be back. We'll just come over and swim in our pool legally whenever we want.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe I just go out Saturday again. And it's just like, it just takes a lot of effort to organize these things. And we can't have a big event like we did Saturday. But, it's like maybe I just go out there and hang out. And if people want to come hang out with us, and we'll just do it again, even if it's smaller.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's even the other thing too, like the police, they laughed. They were like, no, you guys are fine. The lifeguards looked like they were laughing and kind of like, okay, these guys are all right people. So, I mean, it's just a matter of, hey, look, we're not afraid of a virus. We're not afraid of a pandemic. Everyone here is fine. By the way, this is actual peaceful protesting and civil disobedience. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different victories that come from this simple action.
Oh, the cops said they weren't going to arrest anybody. And then they're giving us hugs. I mean, he was telling me, when he was standing next to me, the officer, great guy, he was like, I grew up on the river and my mom taught me about, our rights to the waterways and stuff. I'm like, well, here's the law. He's like, well, I don't want to read it. Well, here's the law. Well, can you just go now? He still wanted us to leave because they were just freaking out at the park. Like, oh my God.
And here's the thing. He's going to get Democrats breathing down his neck in city council and from the mayor's office. They're going to say, get them out of there, arrest them, which he doesn't want to do. So he just kind of wanted it to peacefully go.
Hey, you know what?
Are you going to be out there this Saturday?
Bro, I'll be out there whenever you're out there. I'll be back.
I may come back this Saturday. I may come back. I may come back Saturday just to do it. Aaron, thanks for joining us again.